I just got home, took the BMW i3 for a cold weather battery test. Now this is the 2017 BMW i3 range extender, so it has the battery that's supposed to be good for 114 miles on a charge. Now, you know that's what the manufacturer says. That's never what happens. That's always in ideal conditions, like 55 miles an hour, wind at your back, flat road, and no wind. In reality, this thing gets somewhere around 20 less than that. So maybe figure somewhere around, what would that be, 94 miles on battery before the range extender kicks in. So we'll compare it to that, as you're never going to get an exact science on this. But I'm going to show you where we started with the battery, exactly how many miles we drove. We drove at 70 miles an hour, almost all the way there until the very end, it slows down. And then we'll be able to count, like, how many miles did it say we'd get on the battery, how many did we actually get, and then we can compare that to the 94 miles you would normally get. So I've got all the videos and pictures of all this stuff, so we'll get to that. And also the range extender. We're going to talk about what happens when that kicks in when you're at the highway at 70 miles an hour. Stay tuned. Okay, we're getting ready to leave. We're going to set this at Muskegon, Michigan. That's where we're going today, to the Lake Michigan Lake Shore. Give this a minute to catch up here because it's changed locations. Now you'll see it says we got 0 miles. That's the tripometer. And battery range on the bottom right, 57. So 57 miles range. Now what's that based on? Well, it's based on the fact that we're taking the highways all the way there. That's what we put into the nav system. It's based on the fact that it's 20 degrees Fahrenheit. You can figure out what that is in Celsius, but it's cold. And we have 40 miles to get there. Also, since it's so cold, you better be sure that we are running the heat. So the seat heaters, but also this heater. This is the one that'll run off the big battery. And we've got it set to 76. Why? Because we like to be comfortable. But here we go. And let's just see how we get along, and we'll share updates on the way. Let's talk just for a second about the range extender. So the range extender is not a hybrid. It's not a separate engine that drives the car. What it is a tiny little gasoline engine in the back. What it does is charges the battery. So on this trip on the way home, we're going 70 miles an hour. When we get down to where we have just a few miles left, boom, the range extender kicks in. And you don't even know it except it lights up on the screen. You can see it's on. And you don't know it because you're still driving on electric battery power. That's the only motor that runs this car. So the range extender, all it does is charges the battery. And what's incredible is that it charges it fast enough to just keep going. Then later on in the day, we tested it again because we have one highway in Michigan just north of us, 131 North, where the speed is 75 miles an hour. So we did the same thing. We had the battery down to next to nothing. We jumped on going north up to 75 miles an hour. The range extender kicks in, and you don't even know it, because it charges somehow charges the battery fast enough to where you keep running on the battery motor. There is no gasoline engine that runs the BMW Rex range extender. All it does is charges the battery. But what will impress you is that it charges it fast enough so you can keep going 75 miles an hour. It makes a little bit of a noise. I tried to capture the noise on my phone. I'll play you what I captured, but you don't hear the noise on the highway. You only hear it when you get off the highway at slower speeds. It's like a brrrr. It does have an exhaust pipe. Stainless steel, never has to be replaced exhaust that you'll never even notice unless you climb underneath the car. So that's the bit on the range extender. It's amazing. I don't like hybrid cars. I'm sorry. I just don't like them because I don't want to have a gasoline engine and an electric motor and worry, maybe it's my generation, maybe it's just me, what's going to go bad. Too many moving pieces. I never used to like power windows because I always thought, hey, that's one more thing to break. Maybe it's just me. I don't like hybrids. This is not a hybrid. This is an all-electric car with a built-in charging system. That's the way to look at the BMW i3 range extender. A fantastic automobile. And the more I drive it, the more I like it. I don't love it. I love people, not things. But I come as close as you can come to loving something, as how I feel about the BMW i3. Okay, just wanted to point that out. Okay, here we are at the end of the trip. See 0 miles to go. And this is interesting. You'll see Remember we started out, it said we had 57 miles of range. We still have 37, but yet we went 40 miles. So what does that tell you? Well, while it wasn't completely accurate, it didn't leave us high and dry. The gasometer gave us a little bit of a cushion. Of course, everything changes, the wind and everything else. But now in perfect weather, you would probably get 94 miles, not 57. So take that 40 away from that. That's about a 20-mile difference. So in conclusion, you do lose a little bit of range in the cold weather, which we found also with our Nissan Leaf. But what we also learned is the gasometer on the BMW i3 is so accurate, at least accurate in the sense that it won't tell you have more than you have. So that's a good thing. Hey, now look, this is what we saw today. This is us flying our drone out over this frozen lighthouse in Lake Michigan. Some sites you can only see from the air, and we're parked on shore, and I'm driving the drone actually from the BMW i3. So that's pretty cool, right? Just a iced over lighthouse on beautiful Lake Michigan. There's the back side of it. Not too shabby. So that's our best shot at a winter weather driving battery capacity test with a BMW i3. What we found, and like we talked about a little while ago, the gasometer, the thing that says, hey, you're going to get about this far, on the BMW, it's so incredible the way it's affected by how high you have the fan on the heater turned up. Or when you put in your route instructions in the navigator, the navigation bit, the map, and then it knows you're going to be on the highway, it knows when you're not, and it factors all that in and gets as close to any car I've ever had, electric or gasoline. None of these cars' gasometers can factor in everything, but the BMW i3 comes very close. So rather, you may not get the miles you would get in the winter at the cold temperatures we were at that you do in the summer. However, what you do get is a very accurate, trustworthy guess at when you're going to have to stop and charge. All right, that's it. Chad from DriveTheLightning.com. The BMW i3 winter tests continue. Next time we'll go over the traction control in some detail because we got some nice information back from you guys and a comment that I want to share on that. For now, if you want to watch another video, if you haven't seen it yet, here's where we tried to get the BMW i3 stuck in some pretty deep, nasty looking snow. So give that a watch if you would. Comment and subscribe if you would. We appreciate you. Have a great day.